Hey guys, this is Trevor with Patrick Adair Supplies coming to you again with our December sub box. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so for our bonus this month, we have a Patrick Adair Supplies tray to catch any opals that fall out of your ring while you're inlaying it, or just to hold opals off to the side while you're working with your other materials. And then in our sub box, we've got our gold-plated tungsten. We have our neon green glow powder, our olive green opal, some malachite. We have some gold leaf. Let's see if I can show it off there. And last but not least, we have our jade color pigment. It's a really nice kind of pine color. And that is everything. Alright guys, so let's get started on our Monarch ring. To start off, I am just prepping some of our materials so that they sit easier in the ring, make our lives a little bit easier. So I'm just crushing some opal, and after I get it as small as I want, I am putting it in our Patrick Adair tray that we are including with our sub box this month. It's just a nice little handy spot to store anything that you need or to catch any leftover opals as you're inlaying. Now I am mixing our jade pigment with our glow powder. I'm just putting in as much pigment as I want until I think the color looks vibrant enough. I try to add a good amount of glow powder just so we do get a good glow out of it. So it's just trying to find that balance between a strong glow and a really strong green color. But ultimately I really liked how this color ended up. It was a nice kind of pine color. So before we start inlaying, I wanted to try a tip that one of our Facebook members suggested. They said to tape around the outside of the ring so that when you're sanding with the Dremel, you don't accidentally nick that gold plating and take it off, because that stuff is very fragile. You do want to be as gentle as you can with it. So to start off our inlaying process, I am using our medium CA adhesive and putting our malachite in place. Now malachite powder is toxic when it is in a kind of a powdery form, so as you are dremeling, make sure to wear proper safety equipment. We don't want anybody getting ill from the malachite. So I will just be going around this whole ring, filling it full of malachite until I'm satisfied with how much we've got in there and the placement of it. I always try to find kind of unique shapes that will show through once I sand down. It really doesn't matter to anybody but me, but I think it looks, or it can look a little extra special, give your ring a little more of that pizzazz you're trying to go for. Alright, so as I'm finishing this inlay of the malachite, I will be covering the rest of the malachite with that powder. I usually go over the stones at least twice as the glue kind of saturates in that powder. Sometimes it can loosen up the stones, so I just give it a little extra powder to keep it in place when I move on to this next step. And for that next step, I will just be applying some medium CA throughout the entire channel of the ring. And I'm trying not to do too much that it, I guess, globs out of the ring, because it can pull some of our opal or malachite with it. I usually just try and get it saturated enough that it will fill the ring but not drip. So after I can see that there are no more dry parts of that channel, it's all filled with that medium CA, I'm going to bring over our tray of opals to start putting in. And I will just be putting these in until it completely fills up the channel. And after they are all in place and where I want them, I will do one layer of our glow mixture, and then after that layer has sat for a minute, I usually go over it one more time just to, again, solidify that material into place with that glue. And after I do that last dusting of powder, I will do a layer of super thin, just enough to wet the material down, because it helps with keeping that gold foil in place. It is very finicky stuff. If you have any kind of air, it will blow away. You just got to be a little careful when you're putting it in so you don't get rid of any of that precious foil. And I think I ended up only using about half of the foil that we are including in the ring. If you are really careful with it, you could probably stretch that little foil pad out to 3 rings probably. And so as I'm placing it on, I'm just kind of trying to put it in random spots so that it will dip down into the inlay channel with the opal. Some will be above the inlay channel and get sanded off. And then I'm just putting a little bit more powder around that foil to give it kind of a nice layered look with that gold, so it won't be too overpowering, and the stuff that does show through will be just small and nice. It's not going to take away from the ring, it's only going to add those nice details to it. After I'm satisfied with it all, I give it a spritz of accelerator just to hold everything in place, and then fill up the rest of the channel with our super thin CA. You can see me constantly putting my head into view. It's not my intention, but I'm just trying to see if I can tell that that glue is dried or not. Once I am able to tell that it is cured, I will let it sit for just a few minutes to really cure underneath those opals where I put that medium CA. Sometimes it takes a minute to cure underneath there, and when we're dremeling, we don't want any of those opal pieces to fly out. So let it sit however long you want. I'd say at least 5 to 10 minutes, and you should be good to start sanding. So as I'm dremeling, again, I'm just really trying to take my time with this. I do have that buffer of tape now, but I'm still just trying to go flush with that tape so that I don't get any of the Dremel touching that gold plating. And I am really just going flush with it, and then I'll start that hand sanding process to be as gentle as I can. It'll take a little bit more time, but you'll save that plating in the end, and that's part of the allure of this ring, is that gold plating. If you take it off, it'll still look good, but it won't have that nice uniform gold shine all around. So now as I'm moving on to the hand sanding portion of this, it will take me a little bit of extra time because I start alternating with my 220 grit and my 500 grit because I'm just trying to save that plating. If I use too much of that 200, it can take that plating off, so I'm trying to get it as close to flush with the inlay channel as I can before I start moving on to that 500 grit and then up through the other ones. But for now, I'm just trying to get that flush with the inlay channel. And at this stage, you can either leave the tape on that you added to the edges, if you did add any tape, and sand it off with just your 220, or you can take that sandpaper, or you can take that paper, you can take that tape off and just start hand sanding as usual. Just be really gentle with how much force you're using on that ring. Another spot to watch for that gold plating is if you look at the edge where the bevel starts, you have that really hard corner. And our fingers, as we're hand sanding, they obviously like to kind of conform to whatever shape we're pushing against. So if you're not careful, your sandpaper will go around that edge and it will just get a lot of sanding on that corner. I have taken that plating off before, and it's always so frustrating because there's really no way to add it back on that I know of. So again, just be gentle, try and avoid sanding that corner down, and I think you should be good. Alright, so it is almost there. I think I'm just going to give it one more go with that 220, and then I will check for voids. Alright, so here's a nice little preview of what it will look like in the end. I do have to clear out all the voids, but as you can tell, it is a nice looking ring already. We've got some of that gold foil poking through, the really nice shine of the opals, and that nice deep green of the malachite. So as I'm getting rid of all the voids, I'm just looking for either holes, or sometimes it's a kind of a whitish spot of super glue. It'll just break right through it to a void underneath. So just clear those out, and I always just kind of rub the powder mixture back in to make sure it gets in all those holes. And once I am sure that all those voids are filled in, I will just put one more layer of that super thin adhesive on there to really get everything in place. And then I'm going to have to sand again. So again, just being real gentle, real careful, really aware of that gold plating. All right, and now once that super thin has cured, we are ready to do the final sanding process. Your ring is almost finished. All right, so I will just be going through the 220, 500, 1000, and 1200 grit sandpaper. You can, I'd say for sure, use 220 up to 1000. You could probably get away with not using the 1200, but I like to add it in to give it a really nice shine and a nice finish in the end. All right, and we are on that final 1200 grit paper. And we have our beautiful Monarch ring. We'll get a close up here in just a second, but I'm really satisfied with how this turned out. It looks very regal. It's got that nice gold, and the pine really complements it. I think it really fits in with our holiday season, and I'm just really satisfied with how it turned out. Thanks you guys for watching, and a happy holidays to everybody that's part of our Patrick Adair family. We're really happy with how this ring turned out. It really reminds me of the holidays. It's got that green and gold, really reminiscent of kind of pine trees and ornaments. It turned out really nice. It's really regal looking. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for our next sub box.